Well, hello! How are you doing? You alright? Belting. Guess where we are? Never mind, guess who we are? Guess who we've got? Look in the distance over there. You see? Got Gaz, got Mick. If you want to know more, pop over to the channel. And I've just been talking to Gaz, and he's going to put something on this channel. So there'll be something on Gaz's channel, and there'll be something on Mick's. So pop over, have a look at them. Take it from there. Keep tuned. Well, hello! You alright? Bloody belting. Right, this is a little bit of an extra. Okay. You've seen Grizzly Gaz. You've got Paula. Paula's the second interview tonight at the actual scene where the actual abduction took place. So if you want to know a little bit more, you know what to do. Go over to Mick's channel and he'll tell you more about it. Okay, keep tuned. Toodle pip for now. Okay people, we're off. We're all fed and watered now, and we're just going. Now what we're going to do is, it's about, I think it's about 12 o'clock I think, so where Grizzly Gaz had his interview, we're going back now. There's about 5 or 6 of us, the rest of us are back at camp. Cooch, lovely Denise and Mark, and Joe, and you've got Tia, Shane, Mick, me, Kaz and Paula, and Paula's going back up, so you probably saw the interview. If you didn't, get over to Mick's channel. Mick's done a cracking interview with Paula, and she's going back, she thinks, to roughly where the actual well, whatever you want to say, sighting experience actually happened. So as you can see, I've removed my hat. I'm bloody boiling. Cooled down a bit now, but God, when we first went over to interview Gaz, it was really hot. So yeah, so keep tuned and let's see if we can find something. Put the cat balls out for the first time as well, so that's a good little thing. I've left them with the cat balls, so we felt something before in the tent, but I'm not sure if it was just an animal or whatnot, but it was a bit of a, like arms all raised, you know, from your skin. Hers on the back of your hand was standing up a bit, so yeah, so we'll just have a look and see what we can find.
How long have you got the parabolics on? I've got it. Is that your one? Yeah. Yeah. See, now I won't mind having the headphones on with that. Yeah. What's that? Owls. Yeah. They're all different. It's quite cute, isn't it?
Well, hello. Right, just down there. Let's see if I can get the torch down. This is where Gaz has his experience. Now this is to get a better idea. You'll be able to see a metal trolley. Can you see that trolley down there? That's right down there, just at that base point there. In fact, I'll just change the torch ring. Put a pencil beam just over that stream there, and then in them woods round about here, it's like a dead end. It's like it comes round to a valley and it ends there, and then that's where Gaz had the experience down there, which you've seen on the drone, where I've actually came in and Mick was doing the interview with Gaz. That's where they had the experience. Now the noises.
Good evening, Lee.
Good evening again. How are you doing?
I'm alright, mate. Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, not so bad. Now, listen, before we start, what I'm going to do, I found the other video. I couldn't find this at first, but have you watched The Terrifying Camp of Grizzly Gaz's? That's the heading. It's called Terrifying Camp. Because it's actually in more detail.
Is that the actual full video?
Yes, of the strange noises.
Of what happened?
Yeah.
You want me to get that up instead?
Yeah, get that up instead, because it actually goes into more detail, to be honest.
Right, okay.
It's actually as it happens, with hardly any cuts in it.
Yeah, right, got it.
Right. So, if you... Oh, how was you thinking, by the way? How did your weekend go?
Which one, Lee?
The one just gone.
I went to Peak District on Saturday.
Yeah, and I thought that was it. I thought, that's it, it's done. It's finished Saturday, you'll be home Sunday. And then I didn't hear off you, so I thought, oh, I'll just give him a quick poke. And then he said, oh, I'm still out. And I thought, blimey, fill your boots.
Well, so I came home on Sunday, and then, I can't remember, what day is it today? Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah. So, yesterday, I didn't really have any plans for the day because I was at home. I did have plans. I was supposed to be going to the cinema with my sister Millie in the evening because they've been doing reruns of Jaws at the cinema.
Yeah, well, I started watching your new... I'm a new subscriber, by the way. I couldn't find your channel at first, but I found it now. So you've got another subscriber tonight.
Sweet, mate. Nice one.
So you heard me mention that, yeah?
Yeah, she's never... I saw it at the cinema about 10 years ago, but she's never seen it, so she said, do you want to go watch it? I was like, obviously I do.
Don't be stupid.
I know, exactly. But it was her first day back at uni today, so she said, you know what, can we go another day? Because I really want to get an early night's sleep. So I was like, yeah, that's fine, obviously. So my dad said to me, he said, do you want to go camping tonight? I was like, yeah, just let me get my stuff ready. I'll go camping tonight.
Get your fast bag out.
Yeah, exactly. So it was super last minute. I didn't get to my pitch till about gone 6 o'clock. We're only a night in Woods, but but my two recent wild camps, over a few days, and I'm hopefully going to do one at the end of I'm hopefully going to do one at the end of this weekend as well. So.
Right, brilliant. So you should catch the magic 20.
Pardon?
You should catch the magic 20 then.
Yes, that's what I'm aiming for.
Brilliant.
Just getting this video on now, mate.
Yeah, it just goes into a bit more detail, you see, that's all.
Yeah, that makes sense, like. Right, I'll get it to where it all starts kicking off.
Oh, by the way, viewers and subscribers, I'm just ringing Oliver. Now, Oliver's a zoologist, and if there was a guy for building an ark and pouring animals in, this would be the guy.
Damn straight. Surrounded by animals, and that's what I like to bring to my expertise. I like to bring to this phenomenon of cryptids and various other different phenomena that we're interested in. Because I've got so much experience with animals, I like to apply that zoological brain to stuff that we experience and compare, to examples that we see in the animal kingdom and see if anything can be explained away logically.
That's the reason for the call.
Absolutely, mate. So I think...
Plus, as well, he has actually seen a Bigfoot as well. So if you've not seen it, go over to Mick McLaren's channel. He's done a cracking reenaction, to be honest, and a good interview on it. So, yeah, go over to Mick McLaren's channel if you've not seen it. But, yeah, go on, Oliver.
I enjoyed making that video with Mick. And it's funny because when we did the recreation and he showed me the footage, I actually got a little bit emotional.
Oh, you would do. You definitely would do.
Not in like a scared or a PTSD sort of way. It was more like that is the closest that I've ever seen to what I saw that day. You know, I mean, you're still early.
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm listening to you, and
it was 5 years ago, but I can still. It's the same as you with your experience that you've had. It's something that's come to define me as a person, and I think about it every day.
That's me. That.
I know. I remember our discussion that we had when we came back down off Winter Hill.
It'll always be winning that. Strange. I know what I saw, and it's like Cooch said. She said, "You know what you saw because you've recorded it as in saying what you saw in your brain." And it's true, you have. You know what I mean? It was just a weird experience. But the atmosphere, like you said, when I've actually watched your Mick McLaren with you, actually, the sighting of the Bigfoot today, and like you said, when you go through the gate, and you said the atmosphere changed, that's exactly what happened at Benton.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Weird. It was like electricity. It's just strange. But it's like, it happens and you're trying to logically think in your head, but by the time something's upon you, you can't think fast enough. And it's like Paul Sinclair says, it happens when you least expect it.
It's true.
And it's so bizarre. So bizarre.
Yeah. In many ways, we're blessed, but also cursed, because once it's happened, as I say to you, to me anyways, me as a person, it's come to define who I am.
Yeah.
And I'll never, it was like pre-Bigfoot sighting and post-Bigfoot sighting, Oliver were two different people before and after.
Yeah, that's me. That's exactly the same. My brother said to me, he said, since you had that experience, you're a different person.
Yeah, totally.
You know, I mean, I actually went, when I came back, I nipped into the town centre, and I actually were looking at people thinking, if you'd seen what I'd seen, you'd see it as a different world. And I thought, Lee, what are you talking about? And it's because it just puts your mind, you know what I mean, that there's something else out there.
They've no idea.
No.
People who are, you know, not to sound like patronising or like I'm chastising or anything, but people who either haven't had experiences or they don't want to open their mind up to external paranormal phenomena because they can't cope with the notion that there might be more than just the proverbial rat race.
Yeah.
They've absolutely no idea what's going on. No idea. And I used to get really annoyed with people who would tell me, you know, you've not seen a Bigfoot, you're lying, blah blah blah. You know, the usual skeptical whatever. But now I just feel sorry for people more than anything, because I think how close-minded can you be to not open up your mind to possibilities of this planet?
Well, this is it. I mean, people who you know have took the mick or kind of gone down that line after you've told your story. They've not actually thought before they've actually took mick out to you, this guy knows about animals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not a normal person telling you. It's somebody who knows something about animals and has been with them all his life.
Yeah. What realistically, like, what have I got to gain from lying about something that can, you know, potentially damage my professional reputation as animals? And, you know, nothing really, other than attention, you know, like getting attention off people. And those who know me well, you know, you guys up at Winterhill investigation team and my close friends and family, they know I'm not an attention-seeking person. I'm, you know, quite a small circle sort of person. So if I do relay my experiences with Bigfoot and other, you know, cryptid phenomena, you're pretty blessed, really, that I'll tell you stuff like that. Everybody. But anyway, enough waffling. Shall we get to this video analysis?
Yeah, we'll get to this video analysis, as in this side of waffling. Yes, go on.
Well, I'm ready. I think I'm at the point in the video when this stuff starts kicking off, so I'm ready to go whenever you are, Lee.
Right, okay. So what I've said to Oliver is, we've done this discussion before, but it went pear-shaped. Because I did it on Friday, and like I said, from the last on my channel, I wanted to get it up last week. No, it would have been, but it weren't. I was not happy at all with the sounding. And then Oliver went away, so, you know, I've had to wait for Oliver to come back and me to get time to sort this out and get the sounding right. So we're doing it again. So on Friday night, I didn't actually know what was kind of going down what line, as in questions, but now we'll have a better idea. So I think, really, this is better. I've been thinking about it. This is better because this weekend, and he's been camping, he's had his mind free, so he's been thinking, you know, a bit more about it, you know, so, and he's had more time to listen to the noises. So, yeah, go on. So what I've said to Oliver is, we're going to play Grizzly Gaz video, the terrifying camp video, stage by stage, and just go through what we actually think the sounds are. As in, you know, there's a pig in it and whatever, and there's something else in it, a quirking noise. I call it the predator noise. But just see if we can, you know, which sounds, you know, see if we can actually get both sides of the story to what people think. So, yeah, so go on, play the video, and then we're just going to pause it at every sound change, and then we can just cut in and just discuss it. But, yeah, away you go, Oliver.
Thank you. Right, here we go. Flame grilled, eh? Can't beat a bit of flame grilled steak. So I've just listened to the first tree snap when he's jumped out of his hammock, and following that you can hear, to me, what sounds like definitive footfall, and it sounds like something very big and heavy.
Right, okay.
Okay. yeah, that first tree snap, that's what it sounds like to me anyway. It sounds like a snap as opposed to a wood knock, because that's more of like an echoey kind of sound. Particularly, such my experiences when I've heard noises like that in my years of hiking and bushcrafting, etc., etc. That sounds like a definitive snap.
So you wouldn't say it's somebody walking towards an animal or person snapping the branches?
No.
Right,
No.
okay.
I'll tell you for why. I've taken many people out with me. Well, not many people, but people who will entertain my interest in cryptids. And I've shown them very interesting sort of sapling bends and where they've been interweaved into intricate shapes and things like that. And I've said to them, when they give you the proverbial, "Oh, person's done that," well, you try it then. And they can't. I can't. And I'm by no means a strong man as such, but I'm a young man in my late 20s, and I can beat most people in an arm wrestle, but your average strong human can't manoeuvre saplings and branches and things like that into intricate shapes, much less snap them at ease in the pitch black. So I don't think it's a person that's making that noise at this point in the video.
Right, okay.
Any more comments, or should I carry on?
That's not the tree knocking though, is it?
No.
No, right, okay, yeah, go on. I know where you're up to, because just saying, viewers and subscribers, I can't actually see the video because I'm talking to you on the phone. I'm just going off Oliver's side. So yeah, go on, press on, Oliver, please.
Right, now this is starting to sound more like wood knocks.
Right, okay.
So this is only about 10-15 seconds later on from what I perceive to be a tree snap. He's adjusting the torch and he's looking out into the distance, and you can hear what sounds like wood on wood taps, because there is a slight echo and reverberation off them. They're not massively loud, but they are, they are there. That there is something that's making a sound that sounds like.
Well, let me just fill you in that. I actually sent him a message tonight. Grizzly Gaz said the sounds are roughly 10 minutes apart.
Right. Okay.
So just bear that in mind. But yeah, go on. The tree knocks. Yeah, go on.
He's still sat in his hammock. It's only about 10 seconds on from when he's first sat up, and that's just what I perceive from that point on. He's just looking out into the dark, and you can hear about 2 or 3 seconds apart, 2 little taps, just like that.
Mm. Do you not think that when I listen to it, do you not think the timing is very close to each other knocking?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it's a matter of seconds.
Which is very strange, isn't it?
Yeah, very strange.
It's not like a knock and leave it and see what happens. It's like knock.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
I'll press on.
Yep, press on.
Just on a side note, I love how unfazed his dog is by all this.
His ears are down, aren't they, on fending?
Yeah. So I've read so many cryptid reports of dogs going crazy. Sorry, the YouTube's just gone onto an advert. Right, he's cooking a chicken fillet now, so we'll fast forward through this.
Oh, he likes his food, Gorilla Gaz.
Pardon?
Gorilla Gaz loves his food.
Gorilla.
Right for that, will you? Anyway, we're going to chill out now, and I'll see you in the morning.
He's just sat up in his tent and he's listening to something moving around the tent by the sounds of it. Light twig snaps.
Right.
Big twig snap. More footfall.
What's with us?
So just listen to 3 more sounds. I've just paused the video. He's still in the tent. He's still listening. And they sound more like gentle wood knocks to me than just some creature that's moving around and snapping twigs underneath its footfall.
Right.
Okay. So that's quite interesting. But they're not super loud. They're not booming. They're not echoing.
No.
They're just light taps.
Then wood knocks to me sound like it's new wood on new wood. It's like a funny...
Yeah.
Innit? It's a funny ring to it. It's not like an old... I don't know, I can't explain it. It's like how you'd imagine new wood banging on new wood.
Well, I mean, we've all of us who are into this phenomenon, we've all been guilty of it. We've all tried wood knocks in past. And these days, 5 years on from what I saw, and with me being more into my wild camping now, I don't tend to do anything like that anymore.
No, I don't.
For several reasons. I think it's a bit... Because of my perceived understanding of these, well, I think they're a type of human now. I think it's quite disrespectful to them.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you're in their home, and you're there as a guest, basically, and you're allowed to be a guest. Because if they wanted to take you out and make you disappear, they could do.
Oh, spot on.
So I don't... But I think it's disrespectful. Number 2, I think you could, if there are other people out there who are into this topic and you start wood knocking at each other, that's always a potential. And 3rd, we have absolutely no idea really what wood knocks actually mean. We've got theories as to what they are, but we'll never ever, until a Bigfoot sits down with us and actually has a one-on-one conversation with us, we'll never truly know what they actually are meant to serve as. So for all you know, you could be doing wood knocks and you could be enticing an alpha male to come and,
Yeah.
what it thinks is coming in, thinking it's a rival male coming into its territory.
Yeah,
you
true.
know, you could be putting yourself in real danger, because that's how gorillas operate. You know, you have the big silverback in a group, and you know, a younger male gorilla will come in and try and challenge the silverback to take control of that group. And you know, but again, with my sort of animal background and whatnot, there's a lot of behaviours that Bigfoot type creatures all around the world. Out of all the great apes that we know about, gorillas, in my opinion, are the ones that they have more similar behaviours to.
Yeah.
And I think Bigfoots, I think they live in family-orientated groups. I think you have one dominant male, and why there are so many sightings of males worldwide is because I think the males are the ones that wander around looking for a group, or they might be subordinate males that live in a group and they're out gathering supplies while the females and the children are hiding up in the mountains or underground or wherever they may be.
Which is only common sense, really, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is, because again, going back to us as hominids, and if Bigfoot is a type of human, us as a social species, going back to caveman times and, sort of 10,000 years ago when we settled down and we invented farming and became, sort of making the land work to us, it's always been the males that have gone out to do the gathering, the hunting and the gathering, essentially. So it does make a lot of sense as that.
Yeah, we're the muscles.
Yeah, not to be, sexist or anything like that kind of video, but anyway, I don't know how we got onto that mad tangent about Bigfoot, but I'm gonna crack on and listen to some more sounds if that's okay.
Yep, well.
We'll see.
He's getting ready, he's getting brave and ready to go out the tent now. Bloody YouTube adverts. Sorry, Lee.
Oh, it's alright. Sorry, viewers. And subscribe.
It's because I'm watching it on my telly, so every 5 minutes it comes up with adverts. Right, we're back on now.
We're back on, let's crack on.
Right, so we're at 28 minutes and 23 seconds in. This is the first point that I've heard a pig noise,
Right.
which I think we'll want to come back to later on. If I'm right in the chronology of these sounds, I think the predominant pig noises are a bit later on, aren't they?
I think so, yeah.
But I'll just carry on playing. But I did hear a faint echo of a pig.
Yeah, I did at the start, yeah. I know which way you're at.
So there was just a little tiny auditory noise. I'm at 29 minutes in, and he's audio enhanced it. This strange sort of wailing noise that he's heard. Sounds very far off in the distance. But it sounds like a very high-pitched groan.
Is that like when I said the predator sound?
No, that's the clicking. Well, I don't know if it the noise I heard, it sounds like, and I've heard it myself in my, time in woods and whatnot.
Right.
It sounds like a woman in a choir singing a long high note. And as I say, it's 29, 28 minutes in. 29 minutes, 28 seconds, I should say. And he audio enhances it for the viewer. And it sounds very far off. It's like a very distant... It doesn't sound near to him. It sounds very far off in the distance. Just like a really long high note that a woman would sing in a choir. So it's like a female voice.
Right.
Okay. I'll crack on.
I'd have to listen to that again myself, to be honest.
Just sat listening again to twig snaps. Another wood knock. Another wood knock. Right, now the pig noises are starting. More pig squeals. Do you want to talk about the pig squeals, like?
Yeah.
So, like, we spoke about this when we tried to do this video a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no debating what those noises are, in my, again, animal background opinion. That is some sort of boar-based species, whether it be a domestic pig or a wild boar of some description that we do have in this country that's making that noise. There's absolutely no debating it. People can, naysayers can say it's a fox, they can say it's a deer. It's not. It's a pig that's making them noises.
Right. And where did you say the other day? I can't think. In somewhere in Lancashire, they've kind of escaped, but they're trying to keep it.
Yeah. Well, it's not necessarily shush. There's people. If you're into, again, if you're from Lancashire, you'll probably know about it.
Mm.
We do have a moderate sized population of wild boar throughout the UK. But they're predominantly based down sort of, in the west south of the country, and like there's a population in the forest of Dean, which that's got a history of big cat sightings, and I'm not too sure about Bigfoot and other phenomena, but I know that they've got quite a rich history of black leopard sightings. However, where I'm from in Lancashire, we not far from where I live actually. In the Ribble Valley, there's a wild boar park called Bowland Boar Park, and it's like a petting zoo. The predominant calling card are warthogs, that kind of pig-based species, and a few of them have gotten out over the couple of years that it's been operating, and they're living quietly in the forest of Bowland. So hypothetically speaking, it's possible that a group of them could have travelled over towards Bradford, which is where this phenomenon has happened in this video. Because pigs, they don't just settle in one area, they will move around, they'll follow the resources, because they're omnivorous, so they don't just sort of stick to one food source, they, eat a variety of, roots and berries and foliage village, and they will occasionally scavenge off carrion if they are desperate enough. So it's not entirely impossible that something could have found its way into that neck of this north part of the country. I do have to admit it's unlikely, but I can't dispute the evidence, the auditory evidence that I'm hearing here. That is a pig that you can hear squealing loudly. And again, pig vocalizations, they grunt, they snort. If they ever do squeal like that, they're in distress. And I've worked on a farm, I've worked at a college where they taught animal care, and the closest that I've ever heard to noises like that was we had a group of piglets that had come in, and we were rearing them up, and we were teaching the students about rearing livestock up, and inevitably they would be sent to the abattoir, but it was our job to rear them up ethically and with sound welfare and etc. etc.
Right.
However, when you would round them up at night time to put them back into their paddock, or they didn't like it and they would squeal like they were being butchered, and that's exactly what this sounds like. These pig noises that you can hear in this video.
It's like they're under threat into that kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, animals are not daft. They're probably cleverer than us in some respects. So it's like it's under threat. But the thing is, you have to remember where Grizzly Gaz is down there at the campsite. It's pitch black.
Exactly. So if there were anything, if there was a pig or whatever, for it to be making that noise, it would have to have been threatened by something that it perceived to cause it great harm and distress. And another thing, I did mention it last week when we spoke, pigs, they're diurnal animals, they're active during the daytime, night time they go to sleep.
So in the daytime, a dog walker would bound to see one in there because it is a big woods, but it's not overly big. It's not massive, you know what I mean? It's like a straight wood, in a sense, basically. So I'm sure there would be reports of wild boar being seen or something like that, or pigs.
100%. And wild boar, the big animals, they're not small.
No.
They're a fully mature wild boar. You look at it about 140 kilos. They're a big animal, and I know firsthand because I've weighed some big pigs in my time, and the readings that we used to get on the livestock scales, they're full prime. They're heavy animals, so 100% passers-by, dog walkers, people who are just out for a morning jog or a brisk walk, 100% they would be seen. No doubt about it.
Because obviously, just say one person had seen them, they were bound to report it to the Forestry Commission, and they would put a few sounds up, wouldn't they?
Pardon? Say that again.
If one dog walker, just say one person saw it, they'd say, God, that's strange, and it'd get talked about. So obviously, the Forestry Commission would start putting sounds up.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? They're not just going to put like three number twos up sounds, which I saw there, where we've got the high on you and this whatnot, as if there's cameras about. They definitely put sounds up as a wild boar or pig population, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I thought so because
they can be dangerous, can't they? They're like a guard dog in a sense.
This is going back into rabbit hole of waffling that we do sometimes, but with the Forestry Commission and the law enforcement and public servants, we've discussed it in our circles. How there is this code of silence, it seems, in our country pertaining to unusual phenomena, where Bigfoot, big cats, dog men, even though I'm not that gemmed up on that subject, and particularly UFOs, ufology. I think these things get seen more than what we realise. It's just that people who report them, either, number one, they don't know what they've seen, because Bigfoot is still quite a new word in this country.
Yeah.
And number two, when it does get reported to the services or whoever, the Forestry Commission, the police, they are aware of it, but they don't want to make a fuss about it, so it just kind of gets swept under the rug, and everybody goes along with their business. However, a wild boar is something that is a recognised and accepted species, so I would, 100% expect Forestry Commission to not hesitate to put up signs saying, beware, there are wild boar present.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely can see that happening, but I'm gonna press play and carry on if that's okay.
Press on.
Right, so he's just got out of his tent now.
Oh, he's been brave.
Yeah, I know. I'll call him Grizzly Gaz for now. So he's just looking at the light phenomena now that shoot past the zip line of his hammock.
Yeah, well, we can rule that out, I think, because we reckon that's a midge.
We spoke about that last week, didn't we? I'll just fast forward through that.
We're talking to Mick about it, and that's what they've said. Actually, Grizzly Gaz has said that about it, to be honest.
Alright. I'll fast forward through that bit. Right, now he's mooching about through the woods. Again, a very brave man.
I mean, if you watch any of Gaz's programmes, like any of them at all, you'll see Fendi was like always with him 24/7. So don't forget the dog is actually stayed in the tent while this is going on, which is very strange.
Yeah, it is actually. I've watched a couple of his videos because there's quite a lot of them. He's obviously had his channel for quite a while. Yeah, he produces some good stuff.
Yeah, it's good. I'm definitely a subscriber.
I've just had to pause it just to sort of mention as a side note. Obviously, as he's walking around through the woods now with the torch, trying to, make sense of everything. Obviously, I've started wild camping on my own this year, and I completed camp number 14 last night, and even though I've gotten very used to going out on my own, I do have to admit, and I'd be a liar if I did not say it. If I do have to get out of the tent in the middle of the night or the early morning to go for a quick wee, you can't help not have your head over your shoulder.
No, you can't, can you? It's like a sixth sense. Your survival mode kicks in, doesn't it?
And even though I've not really experienced anything when I've been camping at all, you can't not help but have that thought there in your head. Try as hard as you can to bury it to the back of your mind. So the fact that he's wandering around trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do, if he's trying to get a visual sighting or, just more activity, he's a very brave guy.
He's just probably trying to keep his mind at rest, because he'll have different things going through his head, won't he?
Got a big dog here. And a nice knife with your name on it.
Right, more wood knocks again. Heading back to his tent now.
I mean, even that wind is a bit strange. It comes from nowhere as well. That's weather. That's how it can be.
It had been perfectly still.
I know.
The whole time he'd been out in the dark. Yeah, it's quite strange though.
I think it'd been raining on and off as well, I think.
Yeah, possibly.
Nice fucking wind picked up now. Back here, anything. It's just wind a lot. I'm paranoid. I think my mind's playing tricks on me. Excuse you. Fucking hell, that stinks. David. Breaking. Just break. Alright. Variable side sounded like a pig, but I got it booked up here. In England. Well, not that normal anyway. Fucking hell, today. Seems to have fucked off now anyway, whatever it was. Dude, we just chill out a minute, mate. I'm trying to listen. I know you're not bothered about this thing, well.
See, that's Fendon just saying, look, I'm scared. That, you know.
Because when people just fucking around, couldn't you? That scared me, and that.
Not likely, mate.
Well, it succeeded for a bit. It's picking up again. You can get me a down.
Right, we're just getting to the bit now where you can hear something rustling around in the rubbish.
Yeah, that rubbish pile. What he did, when he got there, somebody who had been previous had just left loads of rubbish and a burnt out mattress as well. And
Yeah,
tried to set fire to his seat, what he'd made as well or something.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Yeah, there's actually, I don't know if you can hear a bottle being kicked as well.
From what I can hear, might have to rewind it, but I can hear, it sounds more like an aluminium can being scrunched up.
Right, okay. Right.
You get like a can of Coke or a can of beer or whatever your prerogative is, and you just scrunch it up in your hand.
Does it not sound like somebody rifling through the rubbish?
Yeah, that too. That's the predominant noise that I pick up.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's definitely a can being scrunched, is that?
Right, okay.
My mind will not be changed on that one, Lee, sorry.
I mean, if it was just one pile of rubbish and you stood on one can, you wouldn't just stand on one, would you?
No. scary stuff. That just
Well,
before he,
that sawing was right at the side of him.
yeah, that's scary stuff, is that? Just before he says, "Oh, I can hear you," you can hear what you describe as like a sawing noise. I'm just going to listen to it again. It does sound like sawing. I get what you're saying, Lee, but do you know what? I'm going to have to throw a curveball at you. To me, that sounds like heavy breathing.
Right, okay, interesting.
That sounds like some kind of... It doesn't sound like a dog panting. And cats, well, cats don't generally pant, really. They just have a very fast set heart rate. So I'm going to say that sounds very similar to some sort of ape-type creature, gasping excitedly.
Right.
Chimps do that. Chimpanzees do that when they get really excited, and sort of what's the word I'm looking for? When they've got like a lot of stimulus, and they're just very stimulated, they will sort of very excitedly start panting.
Right.
That's what that reminds me of.
Could it not be somebody cutting a guide rope?
I get what you're saying, I really do. It does sound like somebody sawing, and I never really got that in mixed video. It's like because we're watching this version, I can hear it better, the sawing sound, but just watching it now, I'm gonna go on a limb here, and that's what that sounds like to me. It sounds like something panting.
Right, okay.
But it's just before he says, "I am," whatever it is, it takes off running. I'm gonna play that now.
Yeah.
When he says I can hear you can hear at least 2 footfalls taking off.
Yeah, that's quick reaction that for a human, isn't it? It's like we were saying the other day that if somebody said, "Oi, I know," whatever, what did you say? "Oi, I can hear you," something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly
If it
what he
was a
said.
human person outside the tent, you would kind of want to listen to the full conversation. But as soon as he opens his mouth, it shoots off. It's like it was it kind of knew what was going to come before he actually said anything. You know what I mean?
I think the human response would be probably to respond, I dare say.
Yeah.
Whereas whatever is making this racket, this noise, whatever, it shoots off straight away.
It's super fast, isn't it?
Yeah. I can only hear 2 footfalls and then it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna carry on.
I mean, do you not? The thought I had, if it was a human, it's been raining, right? You can actually see that on the video. But do you not think it was somebody in waterproof pants?
Do I think it was somebody in waterproof pants?
Yeah, but do you put that sound to it? That's what I get if it was in the boxed theory.
No.
Right, okay.
Nope. I don't think it's anything to do with the quote-unquote person, this.
Right, press on then.
Yep.
Just ideas I've got jotted to make it, what it could actually genuinely be, kind of thing.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. Right. Okay. What we'll do, we'll leave it there. Right.
Yeah.
So we've had your point on the idea of what it can be, and I've got an idea of what it can be and whatnot. So, what would you say in box to what do you think it is? Logically, what do you think it is without going down the paranormal side?
Logically,
Yes.
well, it's not a deer
Right.
because deers are very stealthy, very wary creatures. And I think even in the dark, because they've got fantastic eyesight at night time, because they are, they're just as active at night time as they are at daytime, really, in, wooded areas. I think they'd be hesitant to move near a tent
Right.
because they have an inbuilt fear of human beings and anything that's, not remotely resembling their natural habitat. They'll stay away from it.
Yeah, you can watch any video where they're spooked and they'll just kind of try and work out for a couple of seconds where it is and they're off.
I've seen deer in years I've been doing this sort of stuff more times than I can count. But the amount of times I've caught them on camera and it's been actually good footage, I can count it on one hand.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's not. I don't think it's a deer. And deers, it's funny because I've actually I did a very sort of silly comedy sketch for one of my videos a while ago where I found a dead deer, only just recently died, and I threw it over my shoulders to make it look like I'd killed it, and I was going to take it back to my camp to cook it up and whatnot. It was just for amusement of my family, really.
Yeah.
And this were only a juvenile, and it was bloody heavy.
Right.
Having said that, though, when they do move through the bush, they're so light-footed because it's to do with their centre of gravity. They're not like a large predator with a lot of sort of muscle mass, so they don't make a lot of noise as they move around.
Right.
I don't think it's a deer. And, is it possible that this pig that he'd heard squealing has moved into his camp and gone foraging for his rubbish? That's possible as well. Because pigs, they're clever animals and they're opportunists as well. Like I said before, they're omnivorous, so they'll eat almost anything that comes across their nostrils. There's this sort of, preconceived image of them being fed scraps from the kitchen, in a gentleman's farm or a small holding. Even though that's not really a nutritional way to feed a pig, they won't turn their nose up at human waste at all. So that's possible. And then as far as going back to the sawing sounds, maybe somebody cutting through the guy lines, there's not many animals in our countryside that are recognised that would have the dexterity or intelligence to do something like that. A squirrel's not going to do that. Nor is a badger, a hare or a rabbit or anything like that. So that leaves you with the only possible explanation. It could have been a person that was trying to terrorise him, if you will. And that's your conventional explanations as to what this phenomena could have been, in my opinion.
Right, okay, so what's your out-of-the-box theory?
Well, originally, when we spoke about it a couple of days ago, I went through the Pigman theory, which I've veered away from now the more I've looked into this piece of footage, this film. I think a creature that is, unknown and undiscovered and unrecognised by bodies of science and our, community, our culture, our society as a whole in the UK, I think has curiously come to check him out, his area, maybe got a little bit territorial with the woodknocks, and while it's been at this, has inadvertently spooked a pig or a boar that's been in the area as well. And that's resulted in an absolutely horrendous night for poor Gaz. And he's not been able to enjoy what could have been a peaceful wild camp. As to what that creature could be, I think it's an upright, walking, undiscovered hominid that goes by the name.
Okay. Right. So you've more or less handled every animal kind of what's on this earth. So that's what you think it is.
Yep.
Right. So you would say it is the out of the box paranormal. You believe it to be.
Yep, I think it's paranormal, and it caught my attention as soon as I saw Mick had posted it on his channel. Just from the highlights alone, I thought, right, I need to get over to this guy's channel, that being Grizzly Gaz, and have a look at this, this full unedited film. And it's interesting because obviously I'm under the impression that this guy was never particularly interested in cryptids to the extent that we are.
Not at all. No paranormal side and nothing. He actually says he doesn't think it's paranormal.
Right, okay, that's interesting, is that?
That's his own take on this. I do not think it's paranormal.
Right.
But when Mick interviewed him, and I was kind of at the side, Mick said to him, would you stop here again? And he was like, no, not really. So something definitely spooked him that night, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's made him think twice. Right, okay. So you're happy with that, yeah?
Yeah, 100%, Lee. 100%.
Right, okay, just quickly, while you're on, this has got to be part 2, this of the video.
Down there, because it's a bit of a trap down there when you look, to be honest. But all we can hear tonight is just the amazing sound of the stream. It's fantastic, to be honest, but just nothing. But when you look at that dip, I mean, look at that, if you're on a bike, it's like unbelievable. But what we're going to do is, if you look over here, it's totally flat. So what we're going to do is, come back in the future. I'm just looking where I'm going because I'm not going to charge them, and set up camp there, see if we can get anything maybe a bit more near winter time, a bit more when the weather changes a bit more. But I mean, the only thing I'm picking up really is, it's strange really. This is where nobody really goes at this end of the park, to the actual park. But I'm not really picking anything up, to be fair. That there is where Gaz what? It's full of cattle. Yeah, that there is where Gaz, he had some kids while I was down at the bottom there where I've just shown you, and he had some kids who thought, oh, I've got a new torch, and it's like blue and red, so he thought I'll go up and screw and make it look like the police. Anyway, when they came up here, I think they'd gone, or they were further away than what he thought. But this is where he picked up the baby, which was like laughing or crying. This area here, and it was round about this time, but there's just loads of noise with us a lot. Just can't just get the feel of the place. I mean, the only place really I'm getting something is like where the power lines are, where you saw the EMF meter flashing. That's where I'm only getting the headaches. I'm not really getting them. It's quite strange. But anyway, what we'll do, we'll keep pressing.
Well, hello! Right. That was a good phone call, wasn't it? Thanks to Oliver again, like I said. Get over to his channel. Get over to Campfire Stories Lancashire. And yeah, good guy to speak to, zoologist. So let's, obviously got his tech on the thing. So yeah, so thanks very much, Oliver. Can't thank you enough. But yeah, I'll catch up with you soon. And thanks for giving an hour of your time. Much appreciated. Together we'll get answers, I'm sure. But yeah, so back to Judy Woods. So that's the story.
that's what we've investigated, and it was a quiet night really, apart from, like, you know, if you watch Mick McLaren's video, there was a couple of noises we heard on our way back, which were over the actual stream, but we're not too sure. But there was nobody there, but we could definitely hear somebody kind of whispering. But yeah, so I'd just like to say I hope everybody enjoyed it who went. Another WHIT meet. And yeah, so we'll do a bit more analysis on Judy Wood, do a bit more in detail after that conversation, do a bit more jotting down on my end, see if I can work any more out. But yeah, so I'm sorry, but it was a quiet night yet again, but these things happen. But there again, did we miss something? Was it actually that quiet? Stay tuned. Thanks for watching, viewers and subscribers. More to come. But there again, did we miss something? Was it actually that quiet? Stay tuned. Thanks for watching, viewers and subscribers. More to come.